run around in a cage, basically. It might be, a 2,000 hectare cage, but you still run around inside a cage and you just go round and round and round and round and round and nothing changes, and you go round and round and round and round and round and round.
Round and round and
round and round, and you just sort of say, and you stop. You think that you're functioning, but you're sitting in a lounge room chair and you're not functioning at all. You're just gone blank.
When I have tea and wash up and go and have a shower, I walk in there and I think, what the hell am I going to do now? And I get that down in the dumps. I've gone to bed at 6:30.
They're not going to go to the doctor and say that they're feeling a bit depressed, and that's probably the worst of it, that they're not going to seek out help, whereas a woman would, because we're more self-reflective. And we go, oh my God, I'm feeling terrible. I've got to go and do something about it, or drink another bottle of red wine.
and then it keeps going round and round and round again. And when it's up in the cloud, they get really big, full of water. It just comes out.
It just got me that much. Even now, there are times when I get that way.
And your neighbour's in his cage doing exactly the same thing. You're all in the same boat. So eventually somebody's just got to start getting a bit down about this, because it just doesn't get any better. It just gets slowly worse each day. And then,
you know, they've got all these sheep and cattle, and every time you walk out your back door, they're going nah and moo, moo, you know, and it affects the men. They can't stand it. There's nothing they can do. They have to be on starvation rations.
It has this cycle thing. The rain comes down, then the sun gets it back up again.
Drought, most people don't understand, and you can't really talk to people about it. Ken has struggled with depression, and when you need help, it's just not there. It's really hard to get help. Get people to hear that you really do need some help right now.
how do you get them out of their cage, or to even look out of their cage and realise that, you know, this could be different?
I'm a bit different, and I've got help because I'm a bit of a squealer. If I'm hurting, I squeal, whereas other blokes don't. And they're probably more likely to, 1 minute they're there and next minute they're gone.
Mm. But so if there's not someone looking out for them?
I found, I started writing a diary, and it wasn't until I read back through the diary that I realised just how nobody could read this, it's too heavy.
A bit of poetry. I cannot quite describe my thoughts that make me write this way. I sit here alone at night and ponder with the thought of, should I stay? We talked of the better years when the creeks had run and worn the banks. We had taken these as our very right, without a word of thanks. As we talked, I knew this best friend, whose every thought was kind. In all those years she had given me, I found great peace of mind. And now I am completely lost. Will I ever find myself again? Life seems so meaningless, so sad. Will I ever learn to cope with the pain? She's resting there beneath the skies, where her peace with God she's found. To you it's just a bit of soil, to me it's hallowed ground.
We get to splash in puddles, and grasses are greener and crops are green, and our gardens grow and the dams get full. And that means we get to wash Snoopy again, if we can catch him. And today it's really dry, sorta.
I just notice sometimes when he's down, having a bad day, he goes to Cuttown and comes home a different person, because he's actually got to be with people and talk and just get away from the place for a bit.
If you've got a bad worry, it plays on your mind a bit. But if you can get something that'll distract that for a while, it's like you're in heaven.
I can't think of anything that's really happening to draw the people together. So this guy that doesn't actually really know this guy over here that well, where they can get together and then go, oh, it's been a shit of a year, and actually just get it off their chest.
I just think of blokes around here. I don't think they want to talk on a personal level. That's a bit intimidating.
You're not allowed to talk about your personal life, like just...
Yeah, I'd go with that, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I've been feeling a bit, shit house today, or... You just... Yeah.
There's nobody out there saying, oh, are you... this person, is he okay?
But they're not. They're going round and round in their heads. They need a reason to go and see somebody, and incidentally might just mention that they're feeling a bit wobbly about things.
In passing, it's all in passing, if you happen to be at the shop, or you happen to be chatting with another farmer, or you run into somebody who's got sheep on the road or something like that, and you stop and they chat to each other, well, they won't talk about their feelings, but they'll talk about how lousy generally this time is.
A problem shared is a problem halved, and all of that. But a lot of people, they are stuck on their own, especially if their wife's left them. Who does he talk to? If he doesn't go anywhere, if he doesn't go to the hotel, who does he talk to? And who does this one talk to? There's nothing anymore to bring them together, so they can just let off a bit of steam.
Yeah, it's put a lot of pressure on.
Yeah.
Especially with Jude, she's done a pretty good job to stick it out.
Feeling and the love I had for that particular person. And no, it was... I don't know.
I mean, yeah, how do I say it? I called for weeks trying to get someone.
Actually, probably better off without you. Like, I end up in hospital, for example, at least they know that I'm in hospital and I'm in a safe place, sort of thing, whereas sitting out here, I've just been a worry to them.
If I'm inside here and I'm feeling like that, straight out and down the paddock, I'm right as rain. And that's why I say the farm is so important to me.
When our kids were growing up, I really loved farm life. I love doing things together as a family. Now that they're not there, and Ken with his depression cut off and didn't talk a lot, and he'd go off and do things without telling me. Whereas, there was a time when he'd say, oh, I'm going to needle cattle, can you give me a hand? And so I used to do a lot with him. I'd go out and help spray weeds, and then he stopped communicating, so...
If I was down the paddock there all day today, I would not even think of the house or my wife or the family or anything. And it's a reward.
The psychiatrists are flat out, they're too busy. The hospitals are full, and it is just so hard to get help.
But when it's winter, that means because the weeds go taller, and then when you chop them and you don't chop them all the flowers off, it'll just spread more.
He was transferred from Wang to Albury, so that's New South Wales, and they don't have a government service that we could access. So they sent him to Wodonga, and they said they couldn't take him on because he was coming from over there. And the psychiatrist that had been seeing him while he was in hospital was too busy to take him. And he was on strong medication, and I could not get anybody to see him. The psychiatrist in Albury ended up seeing him, and what is it, $170 every time you see him. And, we're going through a drought situation.
It's not about the survival of the farm, it's about the survival of the family. That people seem to have this idea that the family and the farm are the same thing, which they're not.
So I'm working away from the farm, and yeah, I'm probably in survival mode at the moment.
But I am able to see things a bit better. I can't say that well, you'll be still working at it till the day you die, I think.